What are the differences between Carolingian and Romanesque art? If you're curious about the artistic styles of medieval Europe, you might be wondering how Carolingian and Romanesque art differ. Let's break it down to understand these two significant periods in art history. Carolingian art, which flourished from about 780 to 900, was a product of the Carolingian Renaissance under Charlemagne and his successors. This period saw a revival of classical Mediterranean art forms, blending them with Northern European elements. One of the key features of Carolingian art is its emphasis on the human figure, which was a significant departure from the earlier Germanic art that focused more on abstract ornamentation. Carolingian artists drew heavily from classical models, but they also incorporated local tastes, such as the use of abstract designs in their work. In terms of specific art forms, Carolingian art is renowned for its illuminated manuscripts. These luxury manuscripts, often decorated with full-page miniatures and lavish canon tables, were produced in monasteries under imperial patronage. The Utrecht Psalter and the Drogo Sacramentary are notable examples, showcasing intricate pen and wash illustrations and historiated initials. Carolingian architecture also played a crucial role during this period. Large-scale buildings, such as the Palatine Chapel in Aachen, were constructed using Roman architectural forms and techniques. These buildings featured basilica layouts, innovative construction methods, and elements like mosaic decorations and massive arches. The architecture was designed to serve both royal and religious purposes. Now, let's move on to Romanesque art, which emerged later, around the 11th century. Romanesque art is characterized by its homogeneity and internationalization, despite regional variations. This style built upon the foundations laid by Carolingian art but introduced several distinct changes. Romanesque architecture is marked by the use of rounded arches, barrel vaults, and squat columns. Unlike Carolingian architecture, which was more experimental and adaptive, Romanesque architecture became more standardized and widespread. Romanesque buildings were often larger and more robust, with a focus on solidity and permanence. The use of stone as a primary building material became more common, and the construction of castles and fortifications increased during this period. In terms of visual arts, Romanesque art saw continuation of the narrative and figurative styles introduced in the Carolingian period but with a greater emphasis on solidity and three-dimensionality. Sculpture became more prominent, especially in the decoration of churches and cathedrals. The Bayeux tapestry, though not strictly Romanesque, reflects the narrative and decorative styles of this era. Another key difference is the scope and spread of these artistic styles. Carolingian art was largely confined to the court circle and important monasteries under imperial patronage, while Romanesque art spread more widely across Europe, achieving a greater level of homogeneity and international recognition. In summary, while both Carolingian and Romanesque art drew from classical models and shared some similarities, Carolingian art was more experimental, blending classical and northern elements, and was largely confined to the imperial court and monasteries. Romanesque art, on the other hand, was more standardized, widespread, and focused on solidity and permanence, marking a significant shift in the evolution of medieval art.